Hi, Kennedy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. My name is Erica. I'm going to be working with you today. I do want to thank you for coming in. I'm excited to work with you, excited to learn a little bit more about you. I do have to go over some confidentiality protocols really quick. For starters, of course, anything that you tell me or anything that we talk about is going to stay between us. I'm not going to relay any information to family, friends, anything like that without your permission, of course. The only, deal breaker with that is that if you disclose any information regarding suicidal or homicidal thoughts or actions or any, cases of abuse or anything like that, I do have to report those. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, to start out, would you mind telling me a little bit more about what brought you in today?
Yeah. So just kind of like as of, lately I have just been feeling, I guess you could call it depressed. I've just been feeling really, really sad, kind of just like in a low mood. Um, I kind of just wake up, go to work. If I come home and I'm able to have enough energy left over to get my schoolwork done, I'll do that. But other than that, I basically just want to sleep all the time. My friends have been reaching out to me, wanting me to go do things with them, and I just like never can bring myself to kind of get out of the house and go hang out with them. Same goes for my family. My parents want me to like go out to dinner with them and stuff like that, or come over and see me, and I just can't. I really just like want to be alone a lot lately, and just not really have to be around other people. I just feel like I don't have the energy for it. So yeah, just like been really feeling like in a funk lately and not really like myself.
Gotcha. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're experiencing that. I know that those feelings can be pretty exhausting and take a toll on you. Thank you for sharing. Again, thank you for coming in and addressing these. Now, did you talk to your primary care physician about these symptoms first, or did you just decide to take the leap and come see me?
Um, I just decided to take the leap and come see you. I actually haven't been to the doctor in a while now, so this isn't even something I've kind of been able to tell my primary about even. Um, but I took my mom's advice. She just has been really worried about me and she recommended that I go see somebody. So I decided to seek help and come and see you.
Good. Well, I'm glad you followed your mom's advice. I'm also glad that you have your mom there for you, it seems. Would you say that you feel like you have a pretty good support system at home?
Yeah, I for sure have a good support system. I have good friends and good family. My not being able to like go out and see them and want to spend time with them has nothing to do with them and kind of just like everything to do with me.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Let's see here. Now, these symptoms that you're experiencing currently, when would you say that they began?
Yeah. I would say that when I initially started to feel just like really down and stuff, was when I got back from my first kind of like trip traveling alone. Um, I just like started to feel really, really anxious on that trip, and like I couldn't kind of enjoy the people around me, which is kind of a bummer because the reason I took that trip is to kind of um, just like get away and go do something fun to kind of uplift my spirits. But I think that trip actually might have made things worse for me because when I got back, I just had like the intense like urge to kind of stay in my house and not go anywhere, not do anything.
Right.
It's where I just like feel the most safe. And I mean, like I said, I kind of just like have really been struggling to want to go do stuff with like friends and family. So I feel like it started around a year and a half ago. But as of lately has just gotten a lot worse.
Okay. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that. So you would say that these symptoms started around that trip, kind of more of like anxiety, worrisome thoughts, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I probably experienced like some anxious feelings and thoughts, in addition to like just feeling really sad and down.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Um, Now, with these symptoms, either regarding, the depression or the anxiety, can you identify any events that trigger them, or does it just kind of happen out of the blue?
Honestly, I feel like it kind of just happens out of the blue. I mean, obviously, when something stressful is going on, I don't handle it the best. Um, but also, there will be times where there really shouldn't be anything that's causing me to feel stressed out or feel anxious, and I'll just become anxious, sad, or all of the above. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't say that there's one specific trigger. I just kind of feel like it always happens and happens randomly.
I gotcha. Now, when it does happen randomly, would you say that it happens like every day, or is it like a few days out of the week that you're feeling this?
I would say it happens more days than not for sure. It's kind of hard for me to even remember a day in the last week that I didn't feel this. I feel like I need to be like really, really distracted for it to kind of not consume my mind, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. So you kind of get into these periods where these symptoms arise and they kind of like suck you into like a mood, you would say, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I know that you have these symptoms more often than not. But have you ever experienced a short period of time? It can be, a few days to a week, where you just have a sudden burst of energy and, you want to get all this stuff done.
Um, I wouldn't say like a burst of energy. I would say most days I am just really like low energy and
Right.
just really want to sleep. So my like high energy days per se, I feel like are equivalent to maybe a kind of just like a normal person, and I can, like go to the grocery store, or I can cook dinner that night, like a real dinner, not like a mac and cheese cup in the microwave.
Right.
Um, and I can like sit there and get all my homework done. So just kind of like things, but not necessarily like a burst of energy where like I'm just like running and cleaning the whole house or anything like that.
Okay. I gotcha. Now, the symptoms that you're experiencing, I know that you mentioned that they kind of interfere with like social participation, like with your friends and your family. Would you also say that they interfere with like work or school or anything like that? Like your daily functioning activities?
I feel like I would say mostly school, and that's kind of just because I do school when I'm like alone in the house, and I can find myself just getting trapped in like my own thoughts or just like feeling really down. And there's nothing really around me that's motivating me to get my work done. Like when I'm at work, I at least like have coworkers and I have a boss that's kind of holding me to those responsibilities. But then when I'm just like on my own and trapped in my own thoughts, I can definitely find it difficult to get my schoolwork done and stay motivated to keep up with it for sure.
I gotcha. Outside of that kind of stuff, like any other activities that you used to enjoy doing, like any hobbies or anything, do you find that you don't have as much enthusiasm to participate in those anymore?
Yeah, for sure. I used to like work out every single day and go to the gym every single day. And that's something I stopped doing like almost a year ago. I stopped going to the gym. But that's something I used to really love and would make me feel really good about myself. And I of course used to like love to go hang out with my friends and get out of the house and go out to dinner with mom and dad and do all those things. And they're just not things I can even, like, bring myself to do anymore. I just, like, wanna be alone kinda all the time.
Right, right. Okay. So what I'm gathering from that is it seems like these feelings are kind of affecting you being able to participate in things that you enjoy. And then when it involves like work and school, you pretty much get stuff done when you have to get it done, right? Like not really that you want to, but you know you need to. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say that's absolutely correct.
Now, I know you mentioned previously that these feelings have worsened as of late. Since they began about a year and a half ago, would you say that they've steadily worsened or has it kind of been up and down?
I would say up and down. There are some times where like there's some really exciting things going on that I kind of am like in a higher, more normal mood. Like I can remember like the last time I felt happy was like right at the beginning of summer and when I graduated with my bachelor's degree. That was just like a really fun time for me.
Oh,
So I remember being like more interested in doing stuff, but that only lasted like maybe 5 days, so not even a week. And then I was just kind of back into like my funk. So I'd say it's up and down, but also worsening if that makes sense.
yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. So you do still have, although they're short and far and few between, you have some happy moments here and there still. But most of the time you still end up getting, drugged back down into those feelings of sadness and anxiety. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Let's see. I do want to touch a little bit more on the symptoms of depression and the symptoms of anxiety. Would you say that you've been feeling sad, irritable, or empty when you get into those funks?
Yeah, for sure irritable. Like I know sometimes just like when my friends call me, they'll kind of get frustrated with me because I'm never agreeing to go do anything with them anymore, which I know hurts their feelings, but then I just get super irritable towards them and I'm frustrated for them kind of being frustrated at me. And I feel like sometimes maybe not understanding how I'm feeling and that I just don't feel like going to do anything. And that kind of goes for my parents too. I get super irritable with them when they kind of get frustrated with me for not like showing up to family dinners or being a part of anything and they kind of don't understand it either. But so yeah, definitely irritable. As far as like feeling empty goes, like yeah, I definitely just like feel more empty than I do like filled up with like happiness or joy. So I would yeah say I feel empty a lot of the time.
Empty and irritable. Right, right. And I know, of course, you did mention that your friends and family don't necessarily understand. I do want to address that and let you know that, that is a very normal response for people not experiencing the symptoms that you are. And of course, that's what we're here for today, too. So that way I can help you understand and get you back to, a level of functioning that brings you happiness instead of these feelings of funkiness. Okay. So let's see here. Now, regarding the anxiety, do you typically find yourself like worrying excessively or, having excessive worrisome thoughts?
Yes, yeah, I definitely worry. I just feel like about most everything in my life, small things, big things, anything in between. I worry about all of it.
Is there anything specific, like an object or an event, that triggers these feelings, or are they kind of present just randomly?
Yeah, I would say just present randomly. I think it can like literally be anything. It can be something so small and minuscule, and then it can also be something probably a normal person would get stressed out about. But yeah, I can't think of any like one specific trigger or event, but rather just kind of like everything.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So it definitely varies. Um, Now, have you ever experienced an episode where you have intense feelings of fear that seem to come on for no reason? During these episodes, you can have, like a tight chest or sweaty palms or anything like that. It's called a panic attack. Do you think you've ever experienced one of those?
Yeah, that sounds like really familiar to like something I feel quite often, honestly. My chest gets really tight when I am like stressed out about something or feeling anxious. I definitely get like sweaty palms, and sometimes I just like literally will go blank because I'm just like so stressed out. It's almost like you're like about to like black out almost.
Does that happen pretty frequently or, on a weekly or a daily basis?
I'd say like maybe like twice a month, so it's not like on a weekly basis, but it's definitely something that happens to me more than I would like it to.
Okay, so not as frequent as the previous symptoms that we've talked about,
Yeah,
um,
no,
but kind of scattered throughout. Okay,
great.
let's see. Now, I know that you mentioned that, you decided to come see me on your own, but have you ever sought treatment for these feelings in the past?
No, this is my very first time ever going to treatment.
Very first time. And you've never had, any therapy sessions or anything like that?
Nope, never been to therapy. This is my first time.
Okay. Have you ever taken any medications or anything?
Nope, never taken any medications.
Okay. And I do want to touch on a couple of questions just involving your general safety. Do you ever think about hurting yourself or others?
Nope,
No. And have you ever been afraid for your own safety, when you get deep in these feelings or anything like that?
no. I guess I wouldn't say I've ever been uh fearful for my own safety. No,
Okay, that's good. That's great. Do you consume alcohol or do you use any other substances?
nope,
Have you ever?
nope.
Okay, gotcha. Now, I know you mentioned when we were talking about your feelings of depression that you do typically, like to just go lay in bed and be by yourself. Do you lay in bed because you're feeling feelings of like tiredness, or is it more of just you want to be by yourself?
I would say both. I'm just like really exhausted, um, like all the time it feels like. And yeah, I mean it is just nice to just like go lay in bed and like be alone, especially after I've had to like be at work all day or something like that and like have like stimulation constant throughout the day and always be around people in a social setting than to just like go lay in bed by myself and take a nap or go to sleep for the entire night is uh, like all I want to do.
Right, right. Now, would you say that you sleep well at night?
Yeah, I would say I sleep well at night.
Good, good. Have you ever experienced nights where you're sleeping too little or feel like you're maybe sleeping too much?
Yeah, they kind of go back and forth, honestly. Like I'll sleep too little one night and then the next night I'll sleep way too much. Like last night, for example, I slept I think like only 4 hours. So then tonight I'll probably crash at around 8 and I have no idea when I'll wake up tomorrow, but no time earlier probably won't be super productive tomorrow is kind of my assumption.
Okay, I gotcha. Now, I know you said you do sleep well at night, but when you experience these, sessions of too little sleep or too much sleep, do you still wake up feeling exhausted or do you wake up feeling, well rested?
Exhausted. No matter how much I sleep, I always like feel exhausted.
I gotcha. I gotcha. All right, Kennedy. Well, that is the bulk of our session. So that's good news. Thank you so much for providing all of that information. I do want to gather a little bit more information about kind of your past experiences with your family, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Do you have any history of mental illness within your family, like within your mom, dad, anything like that?
Nope, I do not believe so.
Okay. Let's see. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I do. I have an older brother.
Oh, awesome. Okay. What would you say your relationship is like with your sibling or your parents?
My relationship with my brother is awesome. Um, he's a really good support for me. He's 6 years older than me, so he's like we've not lived together for a really really long time. But ever since he moved out of the house, um, we've just remained really close into our adulthood, which is awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Um, yeah, and then with my parents, yeah, we have a good relationship. I'm really close to my mom.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. I know you mentioned that your mom encouraged you to come here. Or is your dad or is your brother aware of what's going on at all?
My brother's aware, yeah, not my dad.
Okay. Let's see here. Now, have you ever been married?
I've never been married.
Okay. Do you have any children?
I do not have any children.
Okay. Now, within your family or even in your social life, have you experienced any stressful situations? Like, it could be anything ranging from, like a death in the family, or maybe a friendship fell apart, or anything like that.
Um, Not necessarily. No, I haven't had any like deaths in the family of people that were really close to me. And no, like I've had like no like friendship falling outs, like anything that like kind of just like died down. It was just like a friendship from high school and college kind of like made us drift apart, but there was nothing ever that was like, you know, a crazy ending to a friendship, I guess.
I gotcha. I gotcha. And there's no significant event that stands out in your mind that's happened recently that caused you, higher levels of stress or anything like that.
No, I mean school stresses me out, but that's just, you know, everyday life.
Right, right. Now you're working while you're in school too, correct?
Yep, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So busy schedule, lots of exhaustion. I definitely can understand that. All right, Kennedy. So as far as the assessment, I think I've gathered most of the information that I need. Are there any other concerns that you want to talk about before we kind of wrap things up?
Um, Nothing that comes to mind. I think I pretty much touched on everything that I wanted to touch on today.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Well, if once the session's over, if you feel like there's anything important that I missed, or that we didn't get a chance to talk about, we can definitely bring it up next session. That way we can go ahead and get everything out in the open. Um, now that the assessment's done, I would really like to take some time to complete a couple of questionnaires. One of them's called a PHQ-9. That's going to kind of help me see the levels of severity of your depression symptoms as well as the frequency of them. And then I do have a generalized anxiety questionnaire as well that's going to help me determine the same thing, but regarding those feelings of anxiety. Do you have time to complete those for me today?
Yeah, yeah, I have time to complete those today.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. That way, when I see you next time, which I would love to be next week if you're available to do that, that way we can discuss pretty much the answers that I get from those and the plan that I have moving forward. I really want us to be able to come up with something together. That way, you're comfortable with the intervention as well, and that way we can work together. That is going to be the main thing with this entire process that we're going to go through. I want you to feel comfortable sharing, to feel comfortable letting me know if something just doesn't work for you, or maybe even if you think it's not going to work for you. That communication aspect is super important. I am here for you and to help you. And, every case is different. So I'm going to come up with some things to help us get through this. And we'll just go from there. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Perfect, Kennedy. Well, I'll go ahead and get those assessments right over to you. Let me know if you have any questions with those. And I definitely look forward to having you back next week. Okay.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Again, thank you for today and have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.